It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
Hello, friends. Welcome back.
That was a good one, Brad. That was good.
It's spring, and we're here for laughter.
Okay, I was seriously going to compliment you on the Don Pardo voice.
You
it was
did
good.
go. You went there for a second, and then he's like,
and then you just had to ruin it.
he does the thing.
He just does the thing. You step on your own toes.
Springtime for Saturday Night Live.
I really thought you were jumping into springtime for Hitler there. It's going to be a little different vibe.
That's how it started. But then,
I thought better, Hey, but you know what we did get?
Technically, if you think about it, springtime for Hitler is springtime for us.
All right.
I mean,
for humanity.
yeah,
For humanity.
exactly.
But
Hitler enjoyed the same seasons that you did.
Okay, what I'm
some
trying
people
to say.
use spring for different reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Ben, but
Well, it's a new episode. Oh, guys, Quinta Brunson.
She's back.
She's back and she's short.
She is
very tiny.
Very tiny person.
And she, it's so hard when somebody comes back to the show so quickly after she was there for the first time. And I thought her first episode was just so good. It was fantastic. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think, because we don't talk about this to our listeners on the 10 to 1. We don't really talk a lot about what we think about the episode before we record.
Gotta keep it fresh.
I'm really interested to hear what you thought about this episode, because I've got some thoughts.
Oh,
I mean, it's just not like good thoughts. I've not had any
they're all
good
bad
thoughts since we've done this podcast, but I do have some thoughts.
pretty dark.
You mean you're talking about like salient, relevant points, not like you're just negative all the time. Like you're just nobody gives you kudos for the points you're making. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying,
Gotcha.
like, I've not what
I'm not
experts call contributed much to the podcast, but I've been on it though.
I feel that not to be true. I think that your input is valued and valuable.
Wow.
I think I agree with that, but also better.
So she just hosted last year, right? And that was now correct me if I'm wrong. That was the first time we saw the Mikey Day, Chloe Fineman
Correct.
car sketch, right?
Yeah, created that. Yeah.
Okay, and that was an all timer. It was really, really, really
Yeah.
funny. And obviously they brought that back this time. We'll get into that. But let's kick it off, man. Let's go cold open.
All right, friends, let's do this. Trump cold open. Donald Trump, played by James Austin Johnson this episode, signs a bunch of executive orders into law. So this is SNL going back to that old kind of Trump thing where they don't make it a creative use of, the political satire just in the Oval Office with a couple kind of cursory characters about it. What did you guys think of this? Brad, let's start with you. Did any of the executive order gags kind of land with you and even make you laugh?
No, not particularly. It felt like it was a step back for the most part. It doesn't really feel like there was much else to do except, just make fun of the fact that he is signing all these executive orders. It was easy stuff. Like every time he signed one, he would do the picture where he shows it like he's like a kid that has a drawing that he just did at elementary school. And that's just a real thing that he does, because he's an idiot.
One of the things that made it feel a little bit more tired is because that was a huge part of his presidency on day one.
Yeah.
And so it almost feels like that thing where SNL is late, even though he has done a new barrage of these things. But it's been done before already by Trump, by SNL. They've mentioned the executive orders a lot. So we're just kind of retreading the same stuff. And yeah, I get it. There's a few things that are new about it, but you're not breaking any new ground here. And so it's really hard to keep my attention going on something like this where it's just so basic.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I will say this. I didn't think Mikey Day's Stephen Miller was all that great either. It was fine.
I'm not sure he's really doing much of like a real Stephen Miller impression as it is like turning him into like a cartoonish villain.
Yeah, but even
like
that
the
wasn't
Dick Cheney.
that great.
Yeah.
So I this one didn't land for me. I don't know. Maybe contemporarily what they could have done that was different. Obviously, we're not comedy writers, nor do we know anything. But
for example, I'm not going to go out on a limb and like make Mikey Day out to be the bad guy like Nate is. Mikey, I'm so sorry. He listens to the show and
hey, Mike,
buddy,
I love you. But I would have perhaps just a note. I would have loved to have seen what the writers could do turning Trump into the Pope, because
honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't.
that's
do
what
that.
when I sometimes things happen in the culture during the week, and my immediate thought is I wonder what SNL is going to do with
that. Is enough of an escalation immediately to be like, okay, share, because the thing that can go well with this political cold open stuff is when they take a premise, something that happened, and they actually don't just word for word almost recreate what happened.
Yeah.
That's when it's boring, because it was just a photo of Trump and there was no actual, there wasn't a video of Trump doing it. Then you can your mind goes to what would it be like if honestly, and so then you can mix in the conclave stuff, and I don't know, I just think that could have been an angle, Nate. See, that's the kind of valuable content that we come to rely on from you.
There's a chance maybe it felt too easy for them, like just too broad of a target, but also I wonder if maybe they did try something like that and for whatever reason it just didn't work.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, and again, we're not flies on the wall in that room. They did the best they could with what they had, and this is what we got, and not our favorite thing, but also I still like Mikey Day.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's go to Monologue by Quinta Brunson. Returning to host SNL for the second time, actress and comedian Quinta Brunson talks about how she worked on a sex phone line back when she was broke, and sings about being short with Sabrina Carpenter, Marcelo Hernandez, and surprisingly, Dwayne Wade. So we love it when they do songs. I like monologue songs particularly.
Nate, how tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
So you're 1 inch taller than Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
So it's interesting to me. I was really hoping that they were going to do something about her being short, and especially with Marcelo Hernandez, because I wanted to see, okay, if she's 4'11", does Marcelo look? And he does, right?
He really does.
And then Dwayne Wade gets in and like, oh, there's a normal or
Yeah.
a big man, right? So you're actually an inch taller than that. That is crazy to me to see that. And I think that I'm very glad that they did that. That was a cool thing to do, to bring an actual professional athlete up there like that was short for an NBA player at 6'4", right? I thought that was very good. I didn't early on in the monologue, she does the joke of the phone sex stuff, and I don't know if the audience really was like believing that she actually did it. I think it's true.
Yeah.
But there was almost no laugh there, because it was almost like they didn't want to believe her type thing. It was just a little awkward. I think that joke could have been punched up a little bit too, because it was just a pretty basic, easy joke.
Yeah.
But the song stuff though, Nate, that you were saying, that's hard to do, right? Musical monologues are not easy. How do you think that she did, Brad?
I mean, I think it's clear that she's probably not like a super musical person.
Sure.
But she doesn't have like a terrible voice, but she's not, like
she could carry the cadence, right? But
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily like she was not belting out Sabrina Carpenter notes.
No, of course. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It's it's not every day that you get to do something like that, because she is supremely short,
right?
And so plus it seems like everyone is just freaking out whenever Sabrina Carpenter shows up at any time.
I mean I get that she's a superstar,
a big thing right now.
But I also don't get it, right? I'm just not.
Well, you saw what she looks like, right?
No, but so sure, there's so many pretty people that do things like this. I don't know. Why is she the it person right now? Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from her. I just don't get it. I'm old. I don't get it.
She's super huge in the pop scene right now. It's her combination of like witty humor, provocative like sense of humor. It's a little bit sexy. It's a little bit silly. It's catchy tunes. Like she's just
Kind
really
of me. A little bit sexy, a little bit silly.
We do say that about Nate Loucks all the time. Kind of sexy, kind of silly.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the title of your book, right?
Yeah, Nate Loucks, kind of sexy, kind of silly.
But no, I just think she's hitting like just a perfect mix of what people want right now, and it's
because Marcelo Hernandez showed up at her concert as Domingo. This is 6 months ago now, and the fans went absolutely batshit.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we talked about a character from SNL kind of crossing over to the mainstream, kind of like they used to do back in the day,
but super quickly.
Yeah, immediately, right? That sketch had only been on for like a week, and then or maybe 2 weeks.
But I think that's how the sketches used to, like Wayne's World, right? It blew up overnight, I think, didn't it? Like a lot of these characters did have that kind of quick action in the culture.
It would have been more earlier, because back in the day 2, 5, 7, and 9 were the stations, right?
Yep.
So if everybody knew what John Belushi said,
Chicago,
or what 2, 5, 7, 9 in Chicago, that doesn't happen in LA. They didn't have the channel 2, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, Nate, whatever. Okay, sorry, 1, 3, 5, and 7. Anyway, so back then, everybody knew what Gilda Radner had said, or Ed Grimley, even in the 80s and whatever. Nowadays, it is harder because everything kind of gets lost in the plethora that's out there.
Yeah, there's no monoculture anymore.
So this is crazy to see that hit so relevant and so fast. I think it was very surprising to me. Was it surprising to you, Brad?
No, for sure. Especially because we talked about this when we were. I think we talked about SNL 50. It's was extremely quick that they suddenly did a Domingo Funko Pop. So fast. I've rarely seen a character get turned around that quickly and turned into like a little piece of pop culture.
Yeah, the last time it happened,
though, right? I mean that hit huge on TikTok.
The last time it happened was Brad's favorite, the Huck Tour girl.
I want to talk about it.
She got her Funko Pop.
Did she get a Funko Pop? That would be so funny.
No, that would. First of all, I hope not. But it wouldn't surprise me these days.
Everybody's like, probably.
It was probably tough because they don't often do paint the mouth on the Funko Pop. So.
Okay, let's just
all right. Let's moving on. Will and Todd's Radical Experience. Will and Todd, played by Andrew Smukes and Marcelo Hernandez, give advice to historical figures going back in time, except for Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, played by Kenan Thompson and Quinta Brunson.
Nate, what did you think? We never start with you.
Yeah. So there's sometimes when a sketch comes on and I immediately start thinking, I hope they do this again. Because there are so many different iterations of this from history that they can make really funny. And I just thought this was hilarious.
This was great. Here's what
you heard it here first. Nate got excited thinking about all the people who have been wronged through time
and how funny that would be.
It is though. Sometimes it is funny to like tell the real history through this and be like, this world sucks so bad. Look at all around you. And Harriet Tubman and they're like,
Frederick was like, hey, young man, you have a job? Yep.
You get paid?
You get paid? Yep. No, I'm okay. I'm going to stay. Like, that's perfect. But no, the thing that I was going to say is Dismukes. His delivery of those radical lines got me he's going all in
the
as
1-800s.
Oh my gosh, that was so freaking good when they're just, man, it's tubular, radical. Like he was really doing it. And that helps so much. Like the core of this sketch is Bill and Ted, right? So that's just so funny to me.
like I said, I just thought it was I would love to see different eras.
No, I agree. I think that there's potential to repeat it and do something like that. But also, I just think that like it's such a good sketch premise. I couldn't believe no one had done it before.
Right. Exactly. Because it's not like Bill and Ted is really all that popular right now.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's crazy. Yeah, but you're right, because they had in the film, the films, they have real historical characters that really come to the present and then have to go back. And it's never about like, well, I don't want to go back there. But that's absolutely a great take. And the fact that Quinta Brunson, oh man, just like, well, you were responsible for the Underground Railroad. Yeah. Oh, my cousin Janet. She like these little lines like that. Yeah, there's a lot of us doing that. It's going to be fine.
Of course, you want to go back. You're a queen.
Let's go to the train tracks in the sky. The roller coaster. Yeah, all of that worked. It worked so well, and I want to see it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it back this season sometime. I mean, it's worth it to revisit already. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to hear what our listeners thought of this one, if they liked it as much as we did, because I just thought it was hilarious.
Because you're right, my brain started going after a watch as like what other characters would be funny to do as well. And again, we'll brainstorm about all the negativity, and then we'll let Brad know.
All right, moving on. This is a pre-tape Only Seniors. An elderly couple, played by Quinta Brunson and Kenan Thompson, again, raise money for themselves by being on Only Seniors. So what did you guys think of the premise of, obviously, those of you that have not watched this yet, go watch it, but Only Seniors is a play on OnlyFans. It's kind of using adult content platform.
Brad.
Life insurance revenue.
Is it like a life insurance website?
Go to onlyfans.com and you'll see. Here's what I liked about this. Because
I thought it was just okay.
It was okay. It was its strongest.
Oh my God, this is a porn website. What?
Yeah, put your phone away. Also, cross your legs.
This is awesome.
It was at its best when they were like snapping back at their kids. And the kids had to be like, yes, ma'am, sorry about that. Yeah. That was when it was at its best. At its middling was just, it kind of kept going on and on. We get it, right?
So what I did like is, even when they said Only Seniors at the start, I didn't immediately think of OnlyFans. I was like,
I didn't either.
I was like, where's this going?
And by the way, that's really Dennis Haysbert's voice at the end.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying it really is because I listened to it 5 times. And I'm like, that's got to be him because that's not an impression. They got him to do
Interesting.
it. I would like to see if that's true.
But yeah, I didn't think at first, oh, this is going to be an OnlyFans joke until they actually started talking about the sexual things. I think that I would have...
Can you say that again?
The sexual things.
They started talking about the sexual things.
I think that it would have been funnier if they hadn't already done something similar in a live sketch form. Because do you remember the sketch where it was also Keenan, and he was talking about having his own webcast or something like that, where like he was doing sexual things. And
so didn't they just have the old man version of Keenan on Weekend Update? Wasn't it Michael Che's neighbor?
No, it's a live sketch. It's called Maurice.
That's right.
And they're at dinner. And he's not super old, but he's like.
But he's got a recliner.
Yeah.
And doesn't he use that in the sexual positions?
I mean, maybe he talked about that. I don't remember that part, that specific detail. I just remember them being at dinner, and he's talking about with his son and daughter, Chris Red and Ego, and then, it's like they're at dinner, and he starts talking about it, and like
I'm thinking about a different one. I think it's like a VHS tape series of like the sexual moves.
Oh, that's something different. Yeah. That's just like a lo-fi thing where he's like, well, first you gotta, and then,
that's what I was thinking.
Totally
Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. So many Kenan Thompson sexual positions here. I'm so sorry. Try to keep track of them all.
But yeah, so this kind of reminded me of that, and like so I was like, oh, well, we've already seen Kenan Thompson talk about doing the equivalent of OnlyFans before, but I did think the commercial framing was interesting, and like it added a little bit like some variety to it.
Definitely not the worst thing they've ever done.
I do think you're right though that them clapping back at their kids and stuff like that was the funniest
and
part.
still having the kids be, even though you guys are doing something so silly. Oh, sorry, sir.
Yeah,
like, they still are the kids.
Yes,
know?
ma'am.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, moving on. This is called Ferry Car. This is a repeat of, or not a repeat. They've done these 3 times now, where 2 of them now have been with Quinta Brunson, where you've got 2 people in a car. And one of the things we love about this sketch is it's live.
Right.
It seems like it'd be so easy to be pre-taped, especially because there's so much choreography that's happening in these sketches. But we've seen 3 of them now. The first one was in April of 2023. Again, Quinta Brunson. And then there was one just in December.
Was that Martin Short? Who was it?
Martin Short.
Yep. And
that's one where Melissa McCarthy.
McCarthy. And so that one, we if I remember right, we loved that one because of Melissa McCarthy primarily. Martin Short did great too.
No, it was a great sketch, but the capper was such a crescendo.
Exactly. So when we look at this altercation, parking lot altercation, I think is actually, or traffic altercation, I think is what they actually call the sketches as a whole. But this one's on a ferry. What did you guys think of this one? Did you think they escalated it? Was it just kind of more of the same, which is still really good? Or was there a feature of this one that you thought they did that was, a nice addition?
This is lightning in a bottle, hard to capture, over and over again. The thing I really still like about this is I'm just wondering what they're going to, like, what are the physical gags going to be? I know that they're going to do them, and I don't see a lot of them coming, and so that's what I think is funny.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who thinks that they're funny, I'm like, what would I do? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fair. These are very clever. They're making me laugh. Chloe Feynman with the nuts stuff is always going to be hilarious. Because she's always the thing that goes very crass, and so I'm wondering how they're going to do that. The addition of Kenan Thompson in the back in Iraq was a pretty good one. Not gonna lie. The Jost thing at the end is fine, I guess. It was a little like
over. A little overkill as far as like just the meta self-referential comedy, but it was pretty funny to see Jost doing something like that.
Overall, I mean, this is probably it's number 3 of 3 for me. Like the first one's great, the second one's very, very good, still solid, and this is a little bit of a departure, but still I laughed very hard, so I can't say it's a bad sketch whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's hard when you got something so good to compare.
Plus,
it to.
I feel like it would have been disappointing if they brought her back and they didn't do it.
Oh, exactly. We would have been like, where was it?
Yeah.
I just wonder how long do they have to like practice the choreography on this, because it is so precise. And it is good. Like it is such a skill to be able to do what they do, because again,
especially because
what's your deal? Your deal?
Especially because I don't think that and maybe they do have a way of like articulating it on the cue cards, but I can't imagine that they're like maybe
like drawing out a hand gesture for them to do. Like, you got to remember what you're doing.
Maybe they are though. Maybe like in brackets or parentheses they say gesture and they immediately they're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's and they know what the gesture is.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wonder if somebody underneath the cue cards could be
maybe.
doing the gesture.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot. Because we think of it like as this, they've got all this time to prepare, but they don't, right? So it would be really easy to or it would be very helpful if somebody was like, "This is how you're going to do the next one," right? Yeah. Because very impressive. Still, the physicality of that is always very, very impressive.
All right, let's move on. This is Leadership Summit. A leadership summit goes off the rails when employees completely miss the point. Let's start with you, Brad. What did you think of this one?
I really like this one. I like the absurdity of it. I like that it had a combination of what felt like a realistic frame, but then the characters in it, at least as far as the people that the leadership leaders are talking to, they're like some special brand of like crazy or absurd, where they're on each other's level and they're fine with that. But then the people who are running it, they're like, what the fuck is going on? So I especially like just how normal Quinta was saying the craziest things.
Right. But no, her kids are ugly.
Yeah.
I also like when they do things like they...
And then I think she should wear more shorter things. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Everybody's
I will.
polite about it. Thank you. I will. No, I do like it when the universe that they're building is self-referential enough to like when Emil Joachim says, "I don't like the tone."
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, technically. So that sets the expectation for me that okay, they know how absurd this is going to be, and they're going to be the straight men here. Like I love that they set that up. It was so I'm not liking the way you said that, but okay, we're gonna say technically yes.
Yeah, this was one of those sketches where nothing groundbreaking. You've got again, Quinta's playing kind of a straight, like you said, the delivery is very straight. She's the comic part of this, but her delivery is very, straight. But it wasn't anything that I thought kind of made the episode, but it was, I think, a solid addition to it.
I also liked that Sarah Sherman, like, she would react to what was happening, but then as soon as everyone was clapping, she'd be like, oh, smiling.
Oh, and the clapping stuff was great,
Yeah.
by the way. It's like, it's just taking the lead, like, and that's what it and everybody just falls in line.
All right, moving on. Forever 31, women in their 30s.
Oh, but real quick, Brad, would you have a burrito?
Oh, 100%.
I actually saw that. I was like, that's a really good idea.
I don't understand why we don't have burritos at Chipotle.
Get on it, Chipotle.
Yeah.
All right. Women in their 30s, Quinta Brunson, Chloe Feynman, Ego Woodham, Sarah Sherman, and Heidi Gardner play in this. They advertise clothes for women in their 30s and up. Now, as women in their 30s, I'll start with
this.
Start with you, Ben. This was a pre-taped.
Yep. These are my people.
What'd you think on this one?
I mean, Forever 31 is a clever enough thing.
Yep.
It's like it's almost like the little red glasses or the big dumb hat. You know, they're in the same vein of this. It's fun enough. I don't know. It's not, I'm not the target audience for that, right? Like I think it's clever enough, but like for me, okay, there's enough. I could go full term in this outfit.
Yeah, I wonder if, again, women, particularly women ages 35 or 40, feel a little bit more connected.
I'm sure.
As you're getting older. I mean, this is the hard thing, right? Just culturally, as we're getting older, you know, I was thinking about this before. My grandparents, when they were like 50, seemed super, super old. Yeah. I'm 43, and I don't feel like I'm that old.
No, it's
right
as the
I'm still wearing clothes from Gap.
Right.
You know,
as we're getting older, you start to see that finish line be pushed out further. For like when I'm turning 70, I'm like, I'm not that old. You know,
exactly.
So I get it. I do wonder if this hit, you know, I feel seen or I feel attacked. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that saw it that way.
Yeah, no, I think that the commercial premise works in a similar way as one that we had not too long ago, which was the mascara that runs when you cry.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I get it, you know, and I'm sure there are certain like specific things that hit a little more for like women who know, you know, those kinds of clothes more often and whatnot. But yeah, I thought it was still pretty good.
Yeah, and I can appreciate the cultural comedy here, right? That they're making a statement about, again, people getting older.
Yeah.
You're getting older, but you also don't feel like you're going into a new bracket. It's like I'm gonna keep the old bracket that I'm going, even though when I look in the mirror, I don't still see that 25-year-old.
Right.
And so, yeah, I thought it was good. Not great, but good. All right, moving on. 2 bees versus a gorilla. 2 women.
Sorry, what's the name of the sketch?
It's probably 2 bitches versus a
Nate.
gorilla. He doesn't like to swear.
What are you doing?
Okay.
I mean, it's just 2
He
bees.
swears all the time.
We could just skip this one if you want to.
The bee in apartment 23.
Oh, wow.
What are you, CBS?
Okay, calm down. This was not good. We could just move on.
This is for our kids that are listening. All right, this is one of the most popular podcasts on the former PBS podcast station.
Yep.
Wow.
Former.
So this is called 2 bitches versus a gorilla.
So I do want to give the sketch just a little bit of credit because it was not executed in a way where it was very funny or anything like that. But I did appreciate the innovative way that they shot it. I liked it being from the gorilla's perspective.
Okay.
The hands and stuff, the interaction
Was
that
there
was there.
a blink as well?
There was. But I think you're right. There wasn't much to it.
I just didn't. I mean, I just didn't necessarily get it. Like I get the 1 versus 100 that's going around on the internet right now.
I hate it. I hate this. By the way, who would win, a gorilla or 100? It's the dumbest freaking question.
So that's one thing, but then also this is kind of you're going. It's not really even A to C. You're going A to F. Like what is this? It's just messy and weird and not. Just 2 women yelling at a girl. I don't know. It's just weird.
There was a couple amusing lines here and there, but yeah, it just didn't feel like this was a fully formed premise. It just felt like it was like an interesting thing that someone said, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that could."
What
be
would
really
happen
funny.
if we did this?
Yeah.
The payoff wasn't there for me. It wasn't all that funny. I mean, I think Ego and Quinta had some funny lines. They weren't terrible in it, but
they're committed to the bit. I mean, obviously they're all in. You know, and Brad, you said it right. Like the POV from the gorilla's point of view is a funny take on it.
The arms,
but yeah, it just didn't really hit for me.
I also genuinely hate this conversation. I do. I hate the conversation. Who would win, 100 men or a gorilla?
I haven't even been paying attention to it. I can only imagine though that there are so many men out there who'd be like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't have a problem. Me and my bros would take down that gorilla, no problem."
They've done simulations now where it's like 1 million men versus 10,000 gorillas and all this. It's just computer simulations.
It's just the dumbest thing.
It's just silly.
All right.
Who won?
The gorillas every single time.
No, me and my bros could take those gorillas down, man.
All right. It is time for Weekend Update.
Oh boy.
All right.
That's not at all. What are you doing? Hey, you're not helping. This is not how this goes. So the Bradometer, Brad is going to get out his phone and type in a number, and it's going to be between 1 and 100. And the closer to 100 it is, the more camaraderie and inside jokes and a lot of fun that they were having. A little, the vibe was on, all that stuff. Brad, or I'll address Nate. Nate, they talked to each other this time.
They did.
They did. You know. Which is usually a pretty good indicator that that's going to be a decently high on the Bradometer. The jokes weren't as crisp or edgy this time around, so that's probably going to hurt it a little bit. So I'm going to go.
Also, they made fun of Diddy, and you know how Brad hates that.
Brad does not like. You got to defend Diddy. That's Brad's motto these days.
Good parties.
You have good parties. I'll go 78. Because they did interact with each other, but it overall wasn't anything to write home about.
I'll go 80.
Oh, you guys are low for this one because while there wasn't the kind of interaction that I love to see where they're like busting each other's chops.
Just stop there then.
Yeah.
Or no, but the interaction that was there though was they were enjoying each other's groaners and reacting and like not necessarily like poking fun at each other, but like they felt like they had a good camaraderie because they were all getting like groans on some jokes. Because I really thought that the ones that got groans on, they were funny jokes too, but the audience was just like, oh no. So this one I thought was better than you guys did, and I gave it an 87.
Whoa,
that's pretty high.
Like an 82, I could forgive you for. An 87 is high.
Well, here's the good thing: I don't need your forgiveness.
You need my approval.
Yeah.
That's not how Jesus works.
No, leave him out of it. You need Nate's approval.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't say anything about Jesus.
I'm going to heaven.
All right. Was there any jokes that stood out to you that you really liked?
No, I don't remember like any of the specific ones.
Oh, cool. But 87,
No.
87 all day
I was
long
gonna-
with
I was
a
gonna
vast
go-
array of amazing jokes.
I was gonna go back and watch again before I got here because I did want to talk about the groaners that they got because I thought that they were good, but I didn't get a chance to. I haven't had time.
Yeah, they did have quite a few groaners. I don't remember either. But all right, let's go to the weekend update bits. Let's start with Michael Longfellow commenting about not getting the real ID to get on an airplane. This was fantastic.
So good.
I loved.
This felt like Norm Macdonald.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. He's got that ability to be like, hey, zoom in.
He's so patient.
No, no, I'm not going to do it. He is. The patience and the level of payoff that it comes with it, that's a level of confidence you don't get too many people have.
And again, we all love self-deprecating cast members when he's like, I work, what did he say, 12 hours or something like that. He's
got brilliant comedy, man.
It's so funny. I wanted him back on there. Like, I hope he does more.
I will do a terrorism.
I will do a terrorism.
Yeah, there was just a lot of the way he said things, his commentary. I just love the, you're waiting for him to say why he won't get it. And he's just like, no.
Here's the thing. Not going to do it.
While we're on the topic of Michael Longfellow, I want to bring up a fact that I learned because he was on Late Night with Seth Meyers a while back. Like, it's been a couple weeks at least. And I finally got around to watching it. And he revealed something that we were all wondering, which was who was under the shroud as the dead body during the water slide corpse sketch when Nate Bargatze hosted. And it was Jake Nordwin, the writer.
One of the writers?
Yeah. Funnily enough, this got pitched further back, and apparently he bombed it because they told him like they wanted him to be in the sketch.
Who?
Michael Longfellow.
Bombed it. Okay.
Yeah, and when they did it the first time around, they used a dummy. They didn't use a real person. But apparently he biffed so hard, like because he had a big part. He kept messing up his lines to the point where James Austin Johnson, like sensing that it was going bad, even like gave him like a tap on the back.
Oh,
like,
boy.
Like it's okay. Everyone knew it was bombing. It did not go well.
And it was because he was flubbing the lines and not getting it out.
Yeah,
Wow.
Do you know who was the host when they tried it the first time?
I forget who it was.
He does talk about it though?
Yeah, they did. They did say, and I forget who it was.
All right.
Because that's such a very specific delivery for that, because you have to have the tone right. Oh, and again, your idea, okay, to push him down the slide. I mean, I see it. Right? So if you screw that up, you're going to screw up the cadence, you're going to screw up the tone. That would be easy to mess up on.
Because that was Bargatze, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine Bargatze not doing that because he.
I know, like it was. It's so perfectly deadpan him, low key, right? They're all very low key. Nobody's animated about this. Yep. Hey, we're just going to make a calm, practical decision about sliding a dead body down a water slide.
All right, moving on. Another bit. Two Applebee's barflies, played by Sarah Sherman and Bowen Yang, with their waiter, musical guest Benson Boone. All right. Do you guys like Applebee's?
I don't dislike Applebee's, but I'm not going out of my way to eat it.
I don't know.
When's the last time you had Applebee's?
Oh, it's been
a year,
a week.
It's been
it's
been a week.
I mean, honestly, for me, I bet it's been back in the aughts, in the
aughts
09 era.
Oh no, it's been more recent than that for me.
Is it the 1900s?
Yeah, 1900s.
It has been several years though.
Me too.
Applebee's isn't the kind of choice like
because we don't have one close to us, do we?
The closest one is Valpo, I think.
They closed one in Michigan City?
I'm pretty sure the one in Michigan City. That's a Chili's.
See that goes. I thought the Applebee's was in the old mall, and I thought it was still there.
I don't think it is.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, it's not the kind of place you like actively choose to go eat. It's the place you settle.
No, and I love
like when a work conference is over and you need some like drinks, like that's where you go to get like potato skins and beer.
And I love the idea of somebody using the Applebee's or the Chili's. They all have these like small bars, right?
Yeah.
That's the bar they hang out at.
Oh yeah,
right.
Of course.
Like this, so it is kind of a funny premise to think of. That concept being the bar that you go to. Like I don't know anybody that goes to Olive Garden bar like every Thursday night or something like that. Right.
Well, you're missing out.
I mean, Who wouldn't love a good Chianti with breadsticks?
That's what I'm saying.
But
These characters were so much fun. I especially loved Bowen as this character, and I especially loved when he says the word that sounds like the F gay slur.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I can say it.
No, this is like well, what do you think of Sarah Sherman and Bowen? Does it only work because it's them two, or can you get, because I mean these are them doing characters, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes it more fun because you don't often see them
They have
paired
fun together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely helped. But I thought I liked the energy. I liked how wild it was, and just how
it helps too that those two being two of the more seasoned Weekend Update bitters, right? Like they do a lot of Weekend Update bits. There is a comfort that they have when they come there. You can just tell sometimes when there's a swagger when they get to the desk.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they had it. And so if
it's like anytime you see Kate McKinnon and Eddie Bryant, or you just anybody that has that chemistry together. I mean, you know what? One of the ones that I've brought up like multiple times here, when Punky Johnson and Mikey Day, it was
only a couple times.
Incredible, man. I really wish they would have done that more, because you could see the real friendship there, the real relationship. Like Mikey being so like, you don't know. You're in Hollywood. How do you not know? I just love it when the charisma kind of comes through.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Addicts Meeting. People in an Addicts Meeting, played by Quinta Brunson, Kenan Thompson, Maggie Day, Marcelo Hernandez, and Heidi Gardner, talk about their struggles. Ben, let's talk about your struggles.
I struggle that Heidi Gardner wasn't more in this episode. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't have a ton, did she?
No. That's my addiction. Okay, that sounds really creepy.
Gross.
I'm really sorry.
It is kind of weird.
That was training order ready.
What'd you think of this one?
It was fine.
Good criticism, Ben. Yep. We love having a podcast where you talk about SNL, and that's your response.
That would be a fun podcast where it's like only like
it's fine
60 seconds long, and that's all. It wasn't. You only get. It wasn't great.
Here's the full disclosure. I might have taken a pee during this one because I don't really remember.
What are you, Nate?
I'm not.
What are you doing?
It was getting late.
By the way, and I watch every sketch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the guy who cares about SNL so much has a podcast about it, and he went to go pee during a sketch. Didn't pause it. Didn't follow up to see if the sketch was any good.
By the way, did you love that I called on you first? That you're
did.
probably.
I was hoping.
And you know what? That's Jesus.
It was really
catching you in a lie.
I was just hoping that like
Nate, I thought this sketch was pretty funny.
Damn it!
Hey, me playing Ben. Yeah.
I laughed too. I thought
that part.
Yeah, did you see
that part?
Oh man,
with Quinta Brunson.
I knew I was going to get in trouble for this one. I knew. I was just hoping.
And then Heidi Gardner.
No, this was pretty funny. A simple premise, but this is one of the ones where when you have Kenan in the role, he elevates it.
Yeah.
Because the way he's just like very eager.
Kenan Thompson's a cast member on this film.
I knew.
He's just the way he's very eager. Like, well, be more specific, like trying to find out where all the drugs are at an addicts meeting. And so, yeah, it was good stuff. I don't think it was, groundbreaking or anything that is going to be one of the best of all time, but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I didn't think it was great, but it was fine. Ben, what did you think of this again?
I liked Mikey Day's wig.
So he scrubbed through part of the sketch to see the other
He's
characters.
going through right now. Like,
did you get to the Benson Boone part yet?
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm definitely just fast forwarding on YouTube. This is really good. This is good stuff.
What do you think of the Benson Boone part?
Where would Benson Boone come in?
He doesn't.
Okay, I was going to say
that was a test and you failed
a couple of times. I didn't really see it. But okay, never mind.
All right, moving on.
No, just don't start with me anymore. Okay, you guys go. Just have your little podcast.
No, you know what, Ben? Don't start with me. By bringing this piss poor preparation process to the podcast, and that is alliteration.
Piss poor
preparation process to the podcast.
All right, let's talk about the Jackrabbit. Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane and Bo Shannon do several fights together. The greats. Ben, do you remember when...
do you remember this sketch?
I do remember this one, yes.
Do you remember when Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane was still fighting?
I'm not old enough, no. So this is a very...
Is this based on a real boxer?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This is a very one-note premise, obviously.
This is basically a cartoon sketch.
Yeah.
It is.
It's getting thrown out of the ring because he's tiny, whatever. I like the escalation of the wrappings.
Yeah,
that's really funny to me. So anytime you can and again, they've got to do it in sketch form, right? So they're cutting, they're coming back, and
yeah, exactly.
It was just props to the props department again, because that's a really good job.
And you realize how small Quinta Brunson is.
Oh my
when
God.
you see Devin Walker, who I don't know if he's ginormous, but he looks ginormous.
I mean,
comparatively.
we met the man.
Yeah,
he's like 6'3".
Yeah,
he's not a giant whatsoever.
He's not a giant, but he definitely is a bigger guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's 6'4". I don't know. But yeah, it just the stature
He
alone.
looks huge.
And so this is something where in the writer's room, they're going, okay, what can we do besides the monologue with Quinta being a small stat? What if they were a boxer? Okay, that's a good premise.
Yeah, it's a good premise. I thought it was fine. The
It's very
escalation
silly.
didn't work a ton for me.
I see. For me, I liked it because it felt like a classic, like almost like something like the Three Stooges might do or something like that. So I thought it was funny. Again, not the kind of sketch where like I'm over the moon for it and it's going to be a favorite or anything, but I appreciate it. And I actually was especially impressed by how much they made Quinta Brunson look like an old tiny black man.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, no, she really did look like the real Jackrabbit Tulane.
The real Jackrabbit.
All right, that's it. I do have a question for you guys though.
Hold on, real quick. I don't normally watch the musical guests
Or some of the sketches.
I had to pee. So
How long did you pee?
okay, calm down. When Quinta Brunson introduces him, Benson Boone, at the first one, he does his backflip off. Did you ever see at least the start of it?
Yeah.
That's his move, by the way.
So yeah, he does the backflip, which I get, but then it was not necessarily even awkward. He just like walks back up into Quinta and like is standing next to her.
Well, did you listen to the lyrics of the song?
Well, no, I was like, just like, what's going on?
So
here?
the premise of the song is there's a woman who comes up to him and he tells the woman, "I'm sorry, I'm here for someone else." And so they were doing.
Like, I get that, but they don't ever really do things like that.
No, I know.
With the host. That's why I was like, why would they do that? I don't know.
I think it was just a cool thing to do,
Okay,
like
fair
be
enough.
different.
So
I'm sorry. I just thought I'd bring it up
No, it's fine.
because I was actually watching that one.
You don't get it. It's fine.
there have been 3 black female guest hosts that have hosted 2 times. Who are the other 2? Quinta Brunson.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, Ao's gonna be one because she'll come back, but she hasn't done it twice yet.
But has she done it twice?
No, buddy. I'm just trying to work through. Okay, just give me a second.
I'm gonna say
Queen Latifah.
No.
Yep.
Really? Oh, nice.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow, Brad.
Whitney Houston.
No.
I
Queen
will.
Latifah hosted in 2003 and 2004. Just to let you guys know.
That was when she was big time. That was bringing down
Bringing
the
down
house
the
of
house.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-Taxi.
Not the Equalizer.
Oh,
This
wow.
person has hosted 3 times. Most recently, last May. It's okay that you guys don't.
Hold on,
know
no.
this.
Just give me a second here.
It's all right.
I said, give me a second.
There's a second.
I don't have it.
Nope. Hold on.
No, we're wasting time.
Just we're gonna cut all this anyway.
I'm not.
Nope. Yeah.
All right. The answer is, I don't know if you guys remember this person, Maya Rudolph.
Oh,
That's not fair. I was thinking that like I was as a cast member first.
Yeah, I would. No. I was thinking of just an actress that's never been on the cast.
Michael.
That's what I mean. Is I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, like in the terms of like a Queen Latifah
Right.
or a Quinta Brunson, not
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
who's been on the show before. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Michael Che now ties this cast member for 5th place all time in most episodes as an SNL cast member. Who is the other cast member?
Fifth
Most. So obviously somebody, that,
Seth Meyers.
No.
Tim Meadows.
No. His name's Fred
Armisen.
Oh.
who, again, listening to the Lonely Island podcast, when they talk about Fred Armisen, they talk about him as if he is the funniest person
Yeah.
in the world. And it made me appreciate Fred more because he doesn't often get talked about as, I think everyone has a high view of Fred.
Yeah.
But as like one of the legends,
Apparently-
and I think he maybe should be.
What I
you know?
like about him is the stories that people tell is it sounds like he's always doing random bits to people
Yep.
out of nowhere.
I like hearing those side stories.
Yeah,
too.
like, I forget who was telling you. I don't know if it was Maya or Amy or whatever, but Fred will sometimes just text his itinerary to someone.
No, Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler.
Yeah, like he's expecting them, like they're picking him up like at the airport or something.
So like, yeah. Now remember, I get in at 4:30, and
And then
we got to make it to the hotel by
panics that
5.
Person,
Yeah.
like-
Wait, am I picking up Fred from the airport?
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
And then another bit she said that he'll do is when they're at a party, he'll just essentially pretend like like you've got something wrong with you, between the two of you, and you're going, did I piss off Fred? Like,
I like that the sketch or the digital short that they do where he just babbles on and on and on again and then becomes famous and goes on talking. So I thought that was, have they talked about that one on the show yet?
Yeah.
And was that just him doing a bit? Like he just has the ability to just kind of do that, and they were like, we're gonna make that into a
He can just
because he can just go on and on and on about nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a skill set, honestly. That's
all right,
crazy.
let's move on to MVP of the night. Who'd you guys think had the best episode?
I'm actually going Keenan this time. I really like the Frederick Douglass stuff. I like the only seniors stuff. It sticks out to me that he did a good job.
He was good in the ferry car sketch too.
Yeah, popping in there.
Yeah, he's also you wouldn't remember this, but he's the lead of the drug sketch.
Yep,
so
nope, and that was my favorite sketch of the night. So
I think
we
he's
go.
right.
I think you're right
Keenan.
there. Yeah, I had a hard time thinking through that because Keenan often isn't one of the people.
Well, if you guys watched more of the episodes, that like me, you know which character should be the MVP.
All right, what was your favorite sketch of the night?
Easily the Bill and Ted parody.
Bill, yeah,
Yep.
that's so good, man.
Yeah, I do want to again give a shout out though to Michael Longfellow's Weekend Update bit. I thought that was one of the better Weekend Update bits that I've seen in a while.
I see him or Emil come on to or Marcelo come on to do stand up and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm here for. Like they've really come into their own at and Jane is warming up a little bit. I'm getting more comfortable watching her do stuff. It's just the idea that it's purposely awkward or not.
Yeah, I think I've warmed up to seeing her on camera. I've not laughed at her yet. But,
oh my god,
Oh,
she's so mean.
So mean.
Kidding,
You're so mean. She's so funny.
No, I love you, Jane. All right. Anything else? What do we have coming up? I think we have another episode or two left this season.
No, I think we're done.
Well, Brad doesn't know it yet, but we've got 2 more episodes of Saturday Night Live. It's
What?
a weekly comedy program,
Well,
semi-weekly comedy program.
We got a Mother's Day episode next week.
what?
And hosted by one of our favorite mothers,
Walton Goggins.
Mine.
Walton
Goggins is currently riding a big wave because of both the White Lotus and the ongoing Righteous Gemstones in its final season.
So funny.
And plus, he's in Fallout. It's a big thing for him. He's kind of a big deal right now.
I mean, he's been a big deal for a while, and I want him to get his due. I'm very excited to see what they're going to get him into.
I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Arcade Fire is coming back for their 6th appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll be there next
My
week.
least
and
favorite
then-
band name.
Arcade Fire?
Just the name.
Because he has an arcade and he's worried about the fire.
My arcade catches on fire. That's a bad day.
And then in 2 weeks, we have the final episode, the season 50 finale. Who is it going to star?
ScarJo.
Yes. With
I don't know.
Bad Bunny.
Oh, we're going to get Shrek 2.
I mean, he's going to be in
He's
a
gonna be in
sketch,
something.
right?
Come
He's
on.
going to be in something.
Shrek 2, Shrek in the Cash.
Wow.
You could see Scarlett Johansson being Fiona.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see her
so-
doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Scarlett Johansson. What can't she do?
What?
She's a good actress.
Okay, great.
Versatile is all Brad meant.
Yeah.
Anything you expect to see Scarlett Johansson doing in that? I assume they'll, have some kind of Colin Jost joke.
I mean, that's the season finale, and they normally do joke swap. Or, well, I mean, they don't normally,
but
like,
they've already done joke swap
I know.
with her, right?
there's got to
Still,
be, come
though,
on, there's got to
yeah.
be something. Yeah. I mean, Che's cooking something up.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It's going to be good. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. Walton Goggins next week. I'm very excited. I want to see
Mother's
what he
Day. I was glad
Mother's Day episode.
SNL is honoring Mother's Day by bringing Walton Goggins.
You know what it would be a cruel thing to do almost, but also would be very funny, is if they tricked Scarlett Johansson into being in a bit at the Weekend Update desk, but then they change it into joke swap and catch both Jost and her off guard, and they both have to sit at the desk while they do it.
That'd be horrible. I mean, they're both good enough sports where they would do it.
Yeah.
Well, write Michael an email.
I'll send a letter.
Text him.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we have for you. We're going to be back next week with a new episode, but we do want to know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube or you follow us on Facebook or Twitter, let us know in the comments what you thought was the best sketch of the night, who you thought was the MVP. Any of the sketches that you just think maybe didn't stand out as much. We'd love to hear.
What were we wrong about? Call us out.
Also, thinking ahead, maybe if you have any ideas of things you'd like us to talk about during the summer break, of specific sketch genres or ranking certain cast member sketches, or
maybe just tell us to take it easy.
Digging back into
don't
old
record new
episodes.
episodes. That's what I do. Take a nice long summer break.
Come up with something for Ben to do.
Yeah.
We also have another podcast called Go Flix Yourself. We talk about movies and trailers and sometimes a little bit of TV.
Just movies.
Have some fun with the games. And Brad brings in a sponsor, which is
tasty
a snack.
Treat.
And
it's never tasty.
We do some hangs. And have
it's a good time. It's a good time. What can I say?
So you can listen to Go Flix Yourself as well wherever you get podcasts, or go to goflixyourselfpod.com and find us there.
And maybe we'll start a new podcast.
No, we're not. We got too much going on already.
People have said it's too much.
Maybe.
Almost nobody listens to this one.
Everyone says it's too much.
Maybe we'll start a new one.
All right. Please rate, review, like, do all the things you're supposed to do on podcast. We genuinely love seeing your reviews and feedback. And
I love texting you guys. Like, did you see what so-and-so said? Like, it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, when in doubt, leave it in there. Put it on there.
All right, Mike Day. Hope to hear from you soon. We'll talk to you later. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.